The Unsinkable Dream, the story of Titanic. On a crisp April day in 1912, the RMS Titanic, the largest and most luxurious ship ever built, sat gleaming in the dock at Southampton. It was a marvel of human engineering, boasting grand staircases, lavish dining rooms, and the latest in maritime technology. Many said it was unsinkable. Aboard the ship were people from all walks of life. In the first-class cabins, wealthy industrialists, aristocrats, and celebrities basked in luxury. Among them was John Jacob Astor, one of the richest men in the world, traveling with his young wife, Madeline. Their lives were gilded with wealth, and the Titanic was the perfect stage for their journey back to America. Below decks, in third class, were immigrants, families, and dreamers, hoping to start a new life in the United States. Among them were Jack Dawson, a spirited young artist, and Fabrizio, his Italian friend. They had won their tickets in a lucky card game, and their excitement was palpable. To them, the Titanic was a symbol of opportunity, a floating city where they could leave their past behind and embrace their futures. As the Titanic set sail on April 10th, the passengers marveled at the size and grandeur of the ship. The ocean stretched endlessly before them, calm and serene, while the band played cheerful tunes on the deck. 4 days, life aboard the Titanic was like a dream. April 14, 1912, however, would change everything. The air had turned colder as the Titanic sailed through the icy waters of the North Atlantic. Unbeknownst to many on board, a series of warnings about icebergs had been received, but the ship pressed on at full speed. After all, the ship was considered unsinkable. That night, at 11:40 p.m., the ship's lookout, Frederick Fleet, spotted something looming in the distance. "Iceberg, right ahead," he shouted, but it was too late. The Titanic struck the iceberg with a shuddering blow. Their collision seemed small at first, a faint scraping sound that many passengers didn't even feel. But beneath the surface, the iceberg had torn a gash in the ship's hull, flooding the lower compartments. Captain Edward Smith was quickly alerted, and the terrible reality set in. The Titanic was sinking. Panic began to spread among the crew and passengers. The lifeboats were deployed, but there were not nearly enough for everyone on board. The ship's designers had believed that the Titanic was so safe that lifeboats were a mere formality. Now, that overconfidence would cost lives. "Women and children first," was the cry as lifeboats were lowered into the freezing waters. The wealthy first-class passengers were ushered toward the boats, while many third-class passengers found themselves trapped below, unable to reach safety. Desperation and confusion ruled the night. As the ship tilted precariously, Jack and Fabrizio fought through the chaos to reach the deck. Jack found a way to help Rose DeWitt Bukater, a young woman he had fallen in love with during the voyage. Together, they faced the growing danger, their fate intertwined with that of the Titanic. In the first-class dining room, the ship's band, led by Wallace Hartley, played calming music, their violins offering solace in the face of doom. "Nearer, my God, to thee," drifted into the cold night air as the great ship's stern lifted higher. At 2:20 a.m., the unthinkable happened. The mighty Titanic broke in two and plunged into the icy depths of the Atlantic, taking over 1,500 souls with her. In the bitter cold of the night, those who had managed to escape in lifeboats huddled together, watching the once majestic ship disappear beneath the waves. Survivors like Rose clung to life as the freezing waters claimed more and more lives. The Carpathia, a nearby ship, responded to the distress calls and arrived hours later to rescue the survivors. But the tragedy of the Titanic was already written. In the days that followed, the world would mourn the loss of the Titanic, the ship that was once a symbol of hope and luxury, now a grave at the bottom of the sea. Its sinking became a stark reminder of human hubris, the limits of technology, and the fragility of life.